Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Noah, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. As a lot of you may know in real life, my favorite video game right now is 2K, NBA 2K. I love it. I love playing basketball, even though I can't play in real life. It's entertaining to me. Recently, 2K20 has came out, and there's a lot of inconsistency in the community about how it actually is as a game and how it compares to the other 2Ks of late before 2K17, which I don't think you can really do, but that's not my choice. So, I figured that what better choice than to do a review of it. The game's been out for over a month, and I think that it has definitely gotten a little bit better over its time. So I figured, why not? So I wrote a little bit of a review. I'd go ahead and upload it to YouTube. So I'll do that. So, NBA 2K20. While confusingly coveted as the 21st establishment of the game while being named as the 20th, this game has received a bad rap and it's only been out for a little over a month. However, this isn't for bad reason. Before I continue my little review, please remember that this video is purely opinional and doesn't entirely represent 2K20's entire community. I know that's without being said, but you never know. There's all little people out there that are like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter, because that's not how I think. As I said before, bad rap is the best words I can possibly use for the reputation NBA 2K20 has gotten in its first month of life. But it's kind of brought that on itself. The launch of this game was so gosh damn terrible. Point blank period. A game that needed to be delayed, but wasn't. On day one, most of the community was unable to play the game due to bugs, freezing glitches, textures not loading. If you can think it, it was probably happening. With my career, the game's best-selling feature being nearly unplayable, this wasn't a good start. From the game's Play Now feature to its My League feature, these bugs ran almost unchecked for day one and even parts of day two. Of course, 2K Interactive and Visual Concepts attempted to fix these issues to limited degrees of success. Yes, most of the My Career bugs were fixed for the day one patch, but were only replaced by more of the bugs. This was unpreventable unless the game was delayed, which it wasn't. Now, I was lucky. I didn't experience the amount of terrible bugs as other people during week one. I was able to enjoy the game, which I did, until the second week, when my game became nearly unplayable due to bugs. After a week of waiting and talking to 7 different people at 2K support, an update was released and my issue was surprisingly fixed. Just 1 week later. Putting all the bugs aside, which is pretty damn hard to do, the game is smooth. It runs really sexy, to be honest. If I move my character around, most of the time, it looks like how it would in real life. The latency in offline modes is steady, not frustrating. Not to mention the game is beautiful. I can actually see when Blake Griffin is breaking a sweat. It's amazing. The My Career story is interesting. It follows Che, a standout college player for the Bay City Flames, after sitting out in the playoffs in protest of unfair treatment of a teammate's injury in which a scholarship was pulled. This causes Che to drop out and rebuild his draft stock to make his career a long one in the NBA. Now, I love this idea. It's a cheesy idea, but it's nice. Throughout the story, your performance in games and drills determines your draft stock and team interest. Drafting has not been in the game since 2K17. It was removed in 2K18. We'll get back to that later. Play like LeBron James, you get picked early first round. Of course, you get picked out of the lottery. Play like shit, and you prepare to go undrafted. While it's hard to do so, it's nice the feature exists. You'll go through a top prospect game, team workouts, and even the NBA Combine. However, the NBA Combine is very lackluster, and it's actually more irritating than good. It's like a rebuilt version of 2K17's NBA Combine. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible by any means.
God damn it, dude!
This is only worsened by the NBA draft itself, in the fact that it's very unrealistic. You get to pick what teams you work out with, up to 3, and will get drafted by one of those teams. That's not realistic. That eliminates the point of the draft. So if you get drafted to a dumpster fire of a team, get over it. Help them win. It adds to the game. After the main story, there really isn't much. There's really just a few cute, cheesy cutscenes, but it's not that bad. Now the dead horse, the neighborhood. This mode fucking sucks. It's exactly the same as 2K19's park, no changes. There are some events, yeah, some of them are cool and change the park a bit for the event, but it's lame and lazy. The park games are still a buggy and glitchy mess. I never find myself in the park unless I'm going to Swags, the clothing store, or the rack, and that is sad. You should make an area where somebody wants to go and wants to go hang out, and that is not the neighborhood. Besides a small new area for a noodle shop, there is no additions to the park. This is extremely disappointing. In the micro story, there are so many cutscenes of levels that are already made. I'll be damned if they made 4 levels for Chicago, LA, St. Louis, and New York only to use them once. There's a Beats nightclub that's only available for certain cutscenes. I should be able to go into that nightclub at any point I want and shake my booty for a little bit of fans. This is a retread of the park, and it's just a disgusting and lazy act that 2K just did not care about. But now a bright spot for me, the Rec. I love it. I love the Rec. Even though it's pretty much the same as the Jordan Rec Center from 2K19, it seems improved somehow. It may be how the game runs and how beautiful the game actually is. However, it's irritating that there are still ugly white and black uniforms in the actual Rec, but oh well. It can be really ruined by awful and inconsistent latency, but I usually don't have that problem, not to brag. For me, my career gets a 6 out of 10. Its story was cute, it was nice, and the story was actually pretty nice to play and watch, but it left much to be deserved. And personally, I could have done without the park. The park was very lackluster this year. It wasn't even trying to be good, and that's sad. When you reuse a park, or you reuse a level of any kind, you need to change it and make it look nice. The game's selling feature that they changed for my career was the archetype system. They changed it in the fact that they got rid of it. I wasn't opposed to this idea. They changed it and they replaced it with pie charts that actually gave you a little bit of a sense of what kind of character you were making, instead of saying, oh, well, you're making a rebounding slasher or a sharpshooting playmaker. It actually told you how much of shooting or how much of playmaking or whatever you actually had in your character's build. Last year, you could be a rebounder and be 6'10" and not be any good at rebounding. That's how the game kind of worked. However, pie charts doesn't always work because there aren't enough of them. There's nowhere near enough pie charts to actually give yourself a little bit of variety in what you can make. And in that sense, it ruins it. I think the pie charts idea is a good idea, but they need to flesh it out a little bit more. Maybe let us make our own pie charts. I can understand the issue in that. However, if you set a limit for how much you can use for each pie chart, and saying you have to have a certain amount of, say, playmaking badges, you have to have at least 2 playmaking badges before you can upgrade anything else. I can understand that, but it doesn't work like that, and it's irritating. Now, the Play Now feature is the same experience it's always been. It runs smooth, nice, etc. But this year, women are involved with the inclusion of WNBA. Okay, it's a cool addition, but it's not one that anyone asked for. I don't know one person that said, I really want to play with Brianna Stewart. They should have used that time to polish the game. And really, if they did, the game might not have had such a bad launch. Play Now Online and Blacktop are as good as ever, but that's it. Honestly, my career gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Just because it's simple. It did what it needs to do. And that's what you should do when you make a game. Make it how it should play. Play Now does its job and it gets a high score for me just because of that. Now, before I say anything else, I don't play my league a lot. You become the GM of your team and try and be successful. That's the premise. In 2K19, it had a mode called My GM. A lot of people didn't like this mode because it was boring, but I actually did. It was nice. It was nice to have that little bit of story of what happens to your character once he retires from the NBA. It's nice. It's nice to have. However, the same feature is in this year, and it's very disappointing. It's bland. Basically no story at all, and last year, it was 10 times better. Last year, you created an expansion franchise and designed it to your liking. You drafted in an expansion draft. You were picked by a brand new owner named Texas Towers. There was even a bitch named Andrew, who is an asshole and a rival. It was nice. You had something to go up against. But this year, you jump into a lead and you jump into a team and lead. That's it. There's no story, no new features besides action points, limiting what you can do in every in-game day, which is a step backwards. How do you get worse from a game which you try and say is better? This mode gets a 2 out of 10 for me. It's stupid and lazy, there's nothing to gain, and it's a step back from 2K19. It's like I'm going back to 18. That's not good. You don't want to go back to a game like 18, the worst game of all time, in my opinion. That game was terrible, and when you're going back to it, that's not good. The game's My Team mode is also an interesting one. In My Team, you create your own personal team to play with using NBA players. Microtransaction galore, pretty much. The addition of evolution cards are nice, but I don't usually use them. I've personally replaced every evolution card I've gotten. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't see them being much help. To me, it's still a cash grab, but it's actually entertaining. Gets a 7 out of 10 for me. So, to recap, my career gets a 6 out of 10. Play Now gets an 8 out of 10. My league gets a 2 out of 10. And my team gets a 7 out of 10. Collectively, a month after NBA 2K20's launch, I would give this game a 6 out of 10. The sour taste of the buggy launch aside, this game felt like the developers were trying to play it safe. I don't feel like this game can be compared to 2K18, the worst 2K of all time. However, this game is definitely a trend that they are trying to play it safe because of that game. 2K18 got everything wrong, and the community was pushing away from it almost immediately. 2K20 is definitely better, but putting a piece of shit in between two pieces of shit is still garbage. The game is short, it doesn't give you a ton of things to do. It's just, the creativity's not there since 2K17. I thoroughly enjoy this game, however. Fucking shit up on my power forward paint piece entertains me, really. However, the game is too safe. It seems like ever since 2K18 came out and they saw that it flopped as hard as it did, they're trying to save face and they're trying to do the most basic and easy stuff they can because they don't want another failure. And that's not good. That's not the kind of company you want to have. You don't want to play it safe because you're worried you're going to flop again. You know what I think it is? 2K has absolutely no competition. NBA Live is miles ahead of 2K in the basketball game market. And that's a problem. 2K knows they can get away with being lazy because fuckers like me will buy it. To end, NBA 2K20 is not a bad game, but it's definitely not Game of the Year. Should you buy this game? Yeah, but I would wait until it's on sale. because it's not worth $60. It is not a $60 game. It is not the kind of game that you will sit down for hours and hours and hours and hours and play, because it is irritating. And is that kind of game where you just cannot physically sit on your couch or on your chair and just play. It's not that kind of game. I would agree on $30. To be honest, you could probably talk me into it, but no more. I wouldn't pay more than $30 for this game. And I paid $100 for this game. However, I did love this game, as I said before, and there may be a bit of bias, but I hit every single mode. I hit everything I could. If you guys like this video, let me know. Leave a like and comment down below. And don't forget to share to all your friends on social media. If you guys like these kind of videos, I would be more than happy to do these. They are so fun to make. I love them. And I wouldn't mind making more, honestly. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content from me. And you have a good day. Peace.